Yes guys, welcome. CM0102, the Customised Fantasy Database. This is phase 2. Now, what I mean by phase 2 is I've utilised all those people that were in the first game. You all know who you are. But I've changed it a little bit for this second time around. Now what I've done, as a lot of you already probably know, but all you guys, there is 77 of you in total. You've all given me 3 preferred attributes to suit your position. There's a reason I've done that is because when we're going to follow the same sort of suit, and then hopefully somebody will win the Ballon d'Or, because you obviously you've all got the same potential, which is going to range from potential ability is going to be 175 to 200. You will all start as 100. So without further ado, let me go from the beginning. So are you ready for this? Yeah, are you ready for this? Let us go just to the first the champion. We've all taken a place in League 2. Okay, you're going to see it at the bottom there. Go 2 sides. They've replaced Rochdale and Salford. The Undateables, the Untouchables. Let's start with the Undateables first. And as you can see, every person here in this particular team is from the predictions game or a friend of a friend, but you are all in the game and you've all got your preferred position. I think there was a couple of people I had to alter the position. So let's start then. So this is the Undateables. Now let me remind you, right, I'm going to holiday this. So you've all got a top marks for professionalism and loyalty. So hopefully you'll stay at the Undateables. So there you can see, look who the manager is of the Undateables. The great Jurgen Klopp. And the assistant, Jose Mourinho. I did make one coach, which was this guy from Real Madrid. I think these other coaches are fictitious. I also put in one scout, which was Sam Pope. And I put in one physio, which was that guy there. So let's go to the Undateables squad. Let's start then with our goalkeeper, Ashley. Is it Coghlam? But we'll just call you Ashley. So you can see the preferred attributes. It doesn't necessarily start at 20, although that's what I've wrote in. But you've got to remember your 16 and your potential ability will hopefully increase that. So he's worth £2 million. Okay, let me also just remind you very, very quickly, they've all got plenty of money, 20,000 capacity with 10,000 seated, with retractable roof and undersoil heating, excellent trading and youth facilities. Now, so for those of you that are local and know Peterborough, you'll know the joke behind the name of that stadium there, okay? For those of you that don't know what Burley Road is, I'm going to leave that with you. Steve Watson will explain, because he's a regular down at Burley Road. Okay, so let's start then with Ashley. Ashley doesn't look much, but this is what this is all about. This is season 1. He is 16. One of the new people that's joined the game, Max Cormac. He's in the predictions. You can see he looks a little bit better there. I think though, one of his attributes he said was technique, and that's only come through as 10, even though I put that as 20. I think the bottom line is because technique's not really a key attribute for a goalkeeper, but you don't know how I know that's going to go. Justin don't look that great, but I say doesn't look that great. He is 16, and the positioning, I mean, for me personally, for a goalkeeper, reflexes, handling and agility, they're all in double figures. And we've got 4 goalkeepers at the Undateables. It's virtually the same number of positions for each team. I think give or take 1 or 2, because there's obviously 77, just an odd amount. Thomas Tunnicliffe, now in my opinion, Thomas Tunnicliffe looks the better of the 4 goalkeepers. So that's Thomas. Let's go now right back. This legend here. So you can see my 3 attributes that I chose, and I think a few people have done this as fullbacks. I did crossing, pace and tackling, and as you can see, the tackling and the crossing at 19. That is me. Kevin Gilmartin. Now look at that. His positioning, I don't know if you can see that there, but it's actually 21. Pace, I don't know what his 3rd attribute was, Kevin. I can't remember what you said, Kevin. Nevertheless, Kevin looks good, and it means that I've got competition at right back. Carl Rhodes at left back. Crossing, pace, tackling, looks the bollocks. And battling him is our Bangladesh international Shane Wright. Now Shane Wright, he did say that he pace, what was it he said? Pace, long shots and dirtiness. Now, whilst dirtiness isn't necessarily a great attribute, you don't know. Well, I don't know. It could make things interesting for Shane and his career. Let's go to centre backs then. Mark Bonney. Mark Bonney looks decent. 20 positioning, 20 strength, 20 tackling, stamina 17. He looks good already at the age of 16. Ili Stevkov, the Macedonian, positioning, determination, tackling are his chosen attributes. And again, he looks good between him and Mark Bonney. But let's check our other two centre-halves. Luke Langley. Luke Langley is there with heading, passing, tackling. Looks good, more of an attacking defender almost. And Dave Tresidder. Now look at Dave Tresidder's tackling, 22. Jumping, he's a big jumper, he's a good determination, good work rate. Look at those mental attributes there, adaptability, big matches, dirtiness, such shock. Loyalty, well we said everyone's loyalty should be 20. Let me also point out, right, everybody in the Undateables, their favourite team is the Undateables. So it just adds towards, I've got a little bit of help from Stu Murtha to help me with what can ensure that they try and remain at their team, and he helped me with that. Let's go now then to DMR, maybe not the greatest position in the world. Philippe looks good. He's got the pace, he's got stamina, he is only 60s, jumping, acceleration and pace. That is massive for that sort of position. And on the other side, Chris Henson, crossing, positioning, work rate. So if Jurgen Klopp decides to use a couple of wing backs, well, those guys can slip right in. DMC's Ross Horn looks the bollocks. Look at that, looks very, very decent indeed. And he's contesting with Martin Whittaker, looks solid as well. He's got some solid attributes indeed. Again, a position now which isn't maybe the most used position in this game, but you don't know, the manager may opt to use it. Matty Price is right midfield, creativity, decisions, flair, acceleration. He's got some decent ones. If he gets his chance, you know what he can do. Brian Lacy on the left side of midfield, he's got determination, teamwork, work rate, could really improve with those key attributes. Onto the centre midfielders now then. Geoff Cowell, passing, pace, dribbling, heading, balance, agility. Geoff, you look good. Rob Lloyd. Now Rob Lloyd was one of the 3 people that actually didn't send me his attributes. I don't expect people to live on Facebook like I do, but nevertheless, Rob, I picked 3 for you, and it's teamwork, work rate, and determination. So if you're a success, Rob, I'm going to take the credit. James Holyoake, the Welsh wizard. We'll call him a wizard. So James Holyoake, stamina, strength, passing, looks decent. James. Let's see. I think James is new actually. I don't think he was in the previous game. John Pickett was another one of those players that didn't send me his 3 attributes: passing, pace, and tackling. I went with for John Pickett. Okay, Paul Adams. I've got a feeling it might have been Paul Adams. The third one that didn't send me. There was 3 people. I can't remember. But there's Paul Adams. He is our right winger. Technique, long shots, and determination. Matt Meikle, determination, acceleration, agility, balance. But see, this is the thing, it's all luck how it loads up, how a game loads up. They've obviously only picked 3 attributes, but you can see Matt has got a real good selection of good attributes there. Onto the left wing now then. Morton, of course, the left winger, the Norwegian, looking to break into the Norwegian seniors, well, under 21s first, I'd say. Crossing is there, position is there, tackling. I think he went for tackling actually, which was a bit of a surprise, I can't remember. Technique is good. And finally, on the left wing, Ian Wood, another one of the new recruits. He's one of the new recruits into the predictions. He hasn't, I mean, I say he doesn't look too brilliant compared to some of them, but they all look relatively decent for their age. Agility, pace, technique. So we'll see how Ian Wood flares up there, the Scottish winger. Let's go now to the attacking midfielders. Matty King looks good. Passing position and technique, work rate looks good indeed. Matty King. Daniel Young off the ball, pace, finishing, good attributes for an attacking midfielder. It's more of an in the hole sort of attacking midfielder as opposed to a forward or a striker. Michael Page, I think he was a winger last time. Dribbling, long shots, passing, technique, looks good, Michael Page. And now let's go then to our forward lineup. Eben was our overseas player of the year last season. Well, my overseas player. It hasn't started brilliant. I mean, his 20s don't. I can only see one of them. That's dribbling, but they've not come up too great. But you know, it's early days yet for Eben. Dez Robertson. Well, look at that finishing. 21, determination, pace, technique. You look the bollocks there, Des. You look the bollocks. And Daniel Osborne as a forward, although that finishing's a bit scary. He's got pace, dribbling, balance, technique. The finishing's a bit of a worry for me, Daniel, but we'll see. On to the out-and-out strikers. You can see we've got 6 here. So we'll see what Jurgen Klopp plays. Dan Hanshaw, you know, these guys that are up front, in my opinion, have done the right thing. They've gone for finishing and pace, dribbling, off the ball, strength. There's a lot really, and they can only pick 3. So Daniel Hanshaw looks good. Steve Harle, determination and finishing off the ball. Steve Harle is one of my favourites to do well this run, because he is one of our update people of Championship Manager, so he knows his shit. So good luck there, Steve Harle. Garry Johnston, a new recruit. He didn't play in the previous game. I think he just missed out. He came a bit too late, but he is a star of Scotland. But you can see we've got quite a lot of Scottish participants. So good luck there, Garry. You look good. You look very good indeed. And I'm not talking about your player attributes either. Andy Lowe again looks good. Determination, finishing, off the ball, balance, bravery. So Andy Lowe, we'll see how you go. Philip Stewart, 19 finishing, 19 positioning, pace. Look good, Philip, look good. And finally, Ian Williams. Now he was probably our player of the game in the first phase of our fantasy game. He's got a bit of work to do, it'd be fair to say. He's probably, without this sounding cuntish shit, Ian, you're already the worst of the 6 strikers. So that is the Undateables. Let's take a look now then at the Untouchables. Let's start then with Michael Clarkson, who is no longer a Cameroonian, he is a Fijian, if that's even pronounced correctly. So Michael Clarkson looks okay, Padraig did very well. I think he was still on top really when we ended our game at the age of 34. Although his handling is a little bit worrying. I forget what your 3 chosen attributes were, Padraig, but you know, like I said, it's all about the potential ability, and we'll see how you go. Gjohn Davies, well, fuck me, he's fucking awful. Sorry, John, but you know, you are fucking awful. Oh no, to be fair, actually, this is interesting because one of his attributes was one-on-ones. Now, one-on-ones that you can see to the far right is a goalkeeping attribute. It's not like a striker's attribute, it's a goalkeeping attribute. So I'm quite intrigued to see how John Davies flares up there. And finally, which was a late comer to the game, Leigh Truss. Leigh Truss is a goalkeeper, and I think I forget what I went with him. I think I went with the obvious. I think I went with handling, reflexes and agility, but you can see handling and reflexes are only at 11. Okay, right back, Paul Ogden. Paul Ogden, he's gone with pace, strength, stamina, work rate. Well, only 3 of them he went with, but he looks alright. And better than him is our Greek sensation, Panos. Panos has got some good attributes there indeed. On to left back now, Baz Chambers, the Italian Englishman. Forget what he went with. I think pace, crossing. I don't think he went with tackling. He couldn't have. He went with passing. Okay, that's John at left back, and he'll be battling with Mark Brown. Mark Brown looks good. Crossing, pace, tackling looks good. Mark Brown. On to centre halves now. Shane Cousins. I know you told me your attributes after you told me to choose them for you. So I went with, as you can see, Shane. I couldn't remember what I went with. I went tackling. I'm sure I went with something like tackling, marking, positioning. Now, to be fair, determination's up there as well. Shane started very well indeed. They are really good attributes for someone of such a young age. Matt Tierney looks good. He's got his 20s there, which is work rate, tackling and determination. Looks good, Matt Tierney. Wayne Chester looks very good. Oh no, look at that. So fitness is good. Dirtiness, he wouldn't have said dirtiness, so I know Shane Wright was the only one that did dirtiness. So big matches is there at 18. Bravery, decisions, heading, tackling, looks very good, Wayne Chester. And finally in defence, Peter Rudd. Peter Rudd has got his 20s there, that's what he needed. On to DMR. Now this is a new recruit. This is a friend of William Anderson's. Apologies if I pronounce this incorrectly. David Makintovich. He's got his crossing, he's got his pace, he's got his positioning. Because he was a late comer, this is where I've got an extra DMR on this particular team. So it looks good. Adam Rowland, DMR, he's got that crossing, long shots, passing. DMR, let's see how he flares up. DML, J Geneva. Oh, wrong one, sorry, that was Mark Rutgers, we'll go back to him in a minute. J Geneva, he's got some good attributes here for his position. Crossing probably could be better, but he's got his pace, acceleration, passing, positioning, teamwork, looks good. On to DMCs now then. Mark Rutgers, the Dutch DMC, looks good. Can he do it? Paul Roberts looks mediocre, so we'll see how you flare up. Midfield right to Bias, pace, dribbling, technique. Again, it's that position, could be difficult, but we'll see. Roxy Brown, crossing, pace, tackling. You look good, Roxy, you look good. Into midfield central now. Arnie, another new recruit who's come into this game, wasn't in the first phase. Looks good, Arnie, but you've got a bit of competition in midfield central. Mick Humphreys, he gave me his free. Yeah, I remember his. Tackling, passing and finishing. Now, interesting choice because he's a central midfielder. So, I guess it's one of the hardest positions on the field. You need to be able to tackle, you need to be able to finish. So, interesting to see how Mick flares up there. Baz Chambers. Baz has got teamwork, work rate, determination. We actually had a discussion about his, so we'll see how he goes. Daz Jones, another one of those Welsh wizards. So we've got, could Daz Jones and James Hollyoak be the future midfielders for Wales? Who knows? And then of course you've got John Davies, who's a goalkeeper. Don't think we've got any more Welsh, I could be wrong on that. So yeah, looks good, Daz. Onto the right winger, Stu Murtha. Look at that crossing, 21 at the age of 16. Stu Murtha could be deadly. Right winger looks the bollocks. Peppy Page. Peppy Page, got some good attributes there. Pep, bravery, balance, bravery and flair. Very, very messy. But are they the right ones for a right winger? Left winger then, Tim Edwards. He was happy for me to choose his free for him. I can't remember what I went for. Passing, flair and technique for the left winger. Look good, Tim. And the left wing, John McGrath, Irish. Look at that crossing. Jeez, Stu Murtha has been beaten there. 22 from John McGrath. Looks good. He's got the pace as well, stamina. We'll see how you go. Home straight now, Ashton Clare. He was happy for me to choose his own. Looks good. He's got the dribbling, pace, passing, long shots, stamina, acceleration, agility, flair. Fuck me. Ashton looks the bollocks. Sam Wheatley, the Malaysian international, off the ball, pace, long shots. He's got those 20s. He's got decisions there as well. Needs a little bit of work, but you never know. On to Jamie Baxter, our Scottish sensation. Jamie Baxter's not got any of his 20s. Early days though, early days for our Flying Scotsman. Another new recruit, Michael Godfrey, dribbling, passing, technique, looks good. He's got work rate as well. A bit like Jamie, a little bit of work to do, but early days indeed. Let's go to forwards now. Trevor Choi, the Hong Kong, well, we'll call him an international because he should break in. Acceleration, pace, position, and look good, Trevor. Look good. Chris Thomas has got his pace, his heading, his finishing, his bravery, looks good. Chris Thomas. So we've only got 2 forwards, I thought we had 3. 6 strikers then. Start with William Anderson. So William Anderson, he's got the finishing, he's got jumping, he's got off the ball. So let's see how he flares up. Liam McShane, finishing, pace, technique, looks good. They've all got a different range of attributes here, key attributes. So it will be interesting to see how they go. Steve Watson, finishing, off the ball, flair. I think we sort of agreed collectively what he would have. Adam Bush has got the key attributes: heading, pace, passing, finishing, determination. He's got a few. Lee Sylvester, let's see if he ends up at Derby. Decisions, pace, strength, stamina, set pieces, looks good. And finally, George Wills. George Wills has got long shots. George Wills, did he send me his free? Because I can't remember. I think he did actually. So that's George Wills all sorted out. So let me remind you now then, the Untouchables, the manager of the Untouchables is Pep Guardiola, with Ancelotti as the assistant. The chosen coach that I picked was that guy, Maury. There was a scout which was... who was the scout I picked? I can't remember who the scout I picked. I think it must have been that guy there, Grant Wood. He looks a bollocks. I forget who it was. And that guy, Firmino, Firmino was the chosen physio that I moved. I actually only left one coach, scout, physio, but they just top it up with what I assume are fictitious players. So let me remind you now then, your managers, not Ancelotti, sorry. So Guardiola, his preferred formation is 4-3-3. Now he won't always play 4-3-3, but what that does mean is I think what will happen, I don't know if the game is sophisticated enough for this, but will Murtha, Edwards, McGrath and Page, will they come in on a 4-3-3? Because I think theoretically he wants a winger, so I think that they'll probably move. I think Pep Guardiola tends to move to a 3-5-2. Now if he does move to 3-5-2, that's good news for you guys at top. It means he'll use 2 of you, but it's not good news for you fullbacks, which means he won't use them. So that is where we're at with the Untouchables. But if we just go back to the Undateables, Jurgen Klopp is also 4-3-3, so we'll see how that flares up as well. Of course, Mourinho may have an influence in that, and of course his is 3-4-3, so you just don't know. Let's just see what Ancelotti's was, Ancelotti's favourite formation, because it could play a part. 4-3-3 as well. So we will see how we go. There you go, in case you haven't seen that already, the Untouchables Stadium. Remember we said the Undateables was Burnley Road, so the Untouchables, Lincoln Road, Peterborough. So I will let Mark Bonney explain what Lincoln Road is. It's not far from Burnley Road, so it is a big derby. Now, technically, I suppose I could have put these teams as close proximity to have big games when they play each other. But we will see. We will see who will stay at the Untouchables, who will stay at the Undateables, who will jump ship, who is really loyal. Will Jurgen Klopp, will Pep Guardiola, will they remain? You know, we don't know. We really don't know, but we will see. So, stay tuned, guys, because the next plan is going to be to do a one-season holiday mode, and we will see just who does what. Till next time, guys, take it easy from me.